Have you ever wondered what is hidden behind the huge fence in Australia? There are rumors of mysterious passages to Antarctica, unseen animals, hidden laboratories for the study of death, robotic creatures, and even traces of horrific environmental disasters. What is really hidden from our eyes? In this video, we will try to lift the veil of secrecy and figure out what secrets the Australian land can keep. Join our investigation. Did you know that a special and colossal engineering structure, almost 6,000 kilometers long, built at the beginning of the last century in Australia, still raises questions for all of humanity? What is really hidden by the Great Australian Fence? What is behind the most gigantic fence on the planet? And why is ordinary people strictly prohibited from entering the perimeter of the Great Australian Wall? Australian authorities are trying to reassure all curious people that the giant wall across the entire continent was built solely to protect local fauna from wild rabbits, cats, and dingoes, whose huge population has allegedly become a national problem for all Australians. However, the official version sounds extremely unconvincing. Mere mortals are strictly prohibited from entering the perimeter of the fenced territory of Australia. The Great Australian Wall is under high voltage in many places and reaches a height of 6 meters. Are the cute-looking Australian rabbits, cats, and dingoes really so dangerous for ordinary people that such a colossal fence across the entire continent must also be guarded 24/7 by unmarked paramilitary patrols? The official version about the Australian fence sounds especially shaky, given that billions of taxpayers' funds from the country's budget are regularly allocated for the most gigantic fence on the planet. Moreover, this huge fence, which stretches across the entire Australian continent, I repeat, is heavily guarded by paramilitary patrols, and mere mortals are strictly prohibited from entering the multi-level perimeter of the fenced area. A remarkable fact. The whole of Australia is demarcated by smaller fences about 2 meters high. Do such big rabbits and such aggressive dingoes really live in Australia? Moreover, in some places there are even triple rows of fences. If you look from a satellite, the whole of Australia is divided almost in half. Curious tourists who try to break through the perimeter jokingly run into serious problems, from fines to real prison terms. Of course, it would be possible to launch a quadcopter beyond the perimeter of the fence, but alas, it will quickly be shot down, and the unlucky, curious operator of this aircraft may face a serious prison term. An interesting detail. In the southern part of Australia, there are snow-capped mountains, and there is much more snow in them than even in the European Alps at the peak of the ski season. On old maps, Australia is called Terra Australis and is designated as a land area that is one with Antarctica. And perhaps it is here that one of the great secrets of not only Australia, but of our entire planet is located. Local Australian old-timers have extremely plausible legends that in ancient times, passage through this Australian territory was free and everyone could travel without hindrance to the mythical ice wall of Antarctica, behind which there is supposedly an extension of the Earth and other continents. It turns out that our Earth is much larger, but this is carefully hidden from us. But the secrets of Australia's fence do not end there. There is another world map which, in addition to the Australian continent, Terra Australis, contains images of strange and even fantastic creatures that supposedly lived in the past or even in the present on this mysterious continent. On this mysterious map, you can clearly see a unicorn, a winged lion, a one-humped camel, and other fabulous creatures. Those same mythical creatures that are mentioned not only in fairy tales, but also in ancient legends, chronicles, and epics. It turns out that this is not fiction at all. If this map depicts a unicorn or a winged lion, which now possibly lives in Australia, then we can assume that other creatures could, or now also exist, in the closed part of the Earth or on other continents, the passage to which goes through Australia. So why did they put up high guarded fences in Australia? What real information about the universe does the Great Wall of Australia hide? The mythical Terra Australis, which medieval Europeans imagined as a land of unseen creatures, was often depicted on maps by cartographers. Giants, antipodes, people hiding in the shadow of their feet, and other strange creatures could be found there. According to the legend on the map of Beatus of Saint-Sèvres, there was a fourth part of the world located in the south beyond the ocean, which remained unknown due to the intense heat. This confidence was based on the authority of the ancients, in particular the Greek geographers Hipparchus and Ptolemy, who believed that a giant southern continent was necessary for the Earth's balance, the unknown southern land. Despite lively discussions about the possibility of the existence of antipodes and life in a hot climate, no one dared to go in search of this mysterious land. So, what is hidden behind this wall? Perhaps some secret laboratories or military bases? Alas, nowhere and under no circumstances will it be possible to pass through the fence, unless you are superhuman. I repeat that the wall is well guarded by armed patrols without identification marks, and those rare daredevils who managed to return from unknown lands managed to share amazing stories. They claim to have seen abandoned cities of an ancient civilization, observed unusual natural phenomena, and also met giants and huge humanoid apes inhabiting this mysterious territory. In the south of Australia, there are majestic, ice-covered mountains, which, as was assumed in the past, were connected to Antarctica. This version is reflected in the legends of the indigenous people. The southern mountains of Australia really exist and amaze with the abundance of snow, surpassing even the winter Alps. It is noteworthy that the legends of the Aborigines contain interesting information. According to their tales, behind the ice wall and Antarctica, there is a sea and other continents, and the planet itself is much larger than is commonly believed. Ancient maps indicate that in the distant past, there was a single continent on Earth, which subsequently split. Although it is known that the continents are in constant motion, the version of a land connection with Antarctica has not yet been confirmed. At the same time, it is well known about the existence of a little-studied desert between the Rabbit Wall and the opposite coast of Australia. Perhaps it is in this part of the continent that some important secret is hidden, confirming the legends of the Aborigines, which say that the closed area is literally teeming with monsters. The first European explorers of Australia noted that the indigenous people, unlike other peoples, did not worship gods, did not deify nature or heavenly bodies, but at the same time revered mysterious creatures who came from distant stars. Australian mythology is full of other, even more incredible monsters. Among them, the Kini Gare stands out, a creature half-human, half-marsupial, known for its love of blood. Yara Maihahu, a dwarf with red reptilian skin and suckers on its limbs, lives in trees and, like Kini Gare, is a vampire. Another mysterious creature is the Bunyip, a terrible beast with a dog's muzzle, elephant tusks, penguin flippers, and a horse's tail. It is noteworthy that encounters with the Bunyip were mentioned not only in the legends of the Aborigines, but also in the testimonies of the first European colonists. Perhaps the Australian wall was built not only to protect against rabbits and other pests, but also as a precaution against these mythical creatures, if, of course, they exist in reality. In addition, on satellite images in the Google Earth program, bloggers recently found mysterious tunnels connecting Antarctica and Australia, and we have already raised this interesting topic during streams on Google Maps anomalies. On satellite images of the ocean floor, mysterious multi-kilometer lines are clearly visible that go deep underwater from Australia to Antarctica. One of the conspiracy theories says that these lines may be active transport tunnels that are used by the world's behind-the-scenes government and the powers that be for their own purposes. It is even possible that this is some kind of secret metro. Of course, there is also a version about the development of ancient quarries by aliens on planet Earth, and these lines are nothing more than traces of ancient giant alien equipment that mined resources on our planet in ancient times. And it is possible that the Great Wall of Australia hides all these incredible facts from us. Possibly. It is curious that on closed Australian internet forums, you can find incredible stories of seasoned travelers who managed by hook or by crook to visit those territories closed behind the fence of Australia. They talk about abandoned ghost towns and direct passages to Antarctica, about how the sun there, behind the Great Australian Wall, can stand in one place for several hours, and then suddenly go beyond the horizon or disappear altogether. The moon there can also suddenly approach and become several times larger, or suddenly turn into a crescent. And the sky there is not blue at all in clear weather, but greenish blue and even sometimes the brightest turquoise. So what is really hidden behind the Great Fence of Australia? According to another version, there is a laboratory there that studies death. Imagine a place where human bodies, after death, become objects of scientific research. This is not a scene from a horror movie, but reality. Officially known as the Australian Centre for Forensic and Taphonomic Research, the site studies the decomposition of human remains in a variety of environmental conditions. Body farms in Australia, like similar facilities in other countries, serve a vital purpose in forensic science. Here, taphonomists, specialists in the study of decomposition processes, observe how bodies break down in natural conditions, under the influence of sun, wind, rain, and insects. Why is this necessary? Knowing exactly how a body decomposes can provide valuable information to investigators and forensic scientists. In Australia, with its unique climate and diversity of flora and fauna, a body farm is especially valuable. So how does it work? A body farm is an enclosed area where bodies donated for scientific purposes are placed in various conditions: outdoors, underground, in water, and so on. Scientists regularly observe these bodies, documenting all the changes that occur to them as they decompose. The data obtained during these observations allows for the creation of detailed models of decomposition that can be used in real-life investigations. It certainly sounds creepy. And we move on. People, as we said earlier, are not allowed behind the fence. Robots are another matter. In the Pilbara region, the Rio Tinto company has been mining tons of iron for several years without human intervention. Robotic equipment worth millions of dollars is several times stronger than a human. The machines are completely controlled by a computer. At the same time, people, more than 1,000 kilometers away from the mine, simply watch on monitors. The reason for robotization is explained by the extreme heat and the lack of people willing to work. But is this really so? Robotization occurred gradually, and workers who previously worked in the mines claim to have seen some ruins a meter or two tall. Perhaps there were entire cities in this place before. But why did they disappear? What disaster destroyed the former life in this place? Conclusion. So far, only one thing is known, that something is hidden behind the fence of Australia that ordinary mortals are not supposed to see, know, or even talk about. And all those curious and searching for the truth about the Australian fence are simply eliminated by various methods. Some will be intimidated, some will be fined, some will even be jailed, and some, well, you probably get the idea. Maybe the men in black are also somehow involved in the secret of the Australian fence. And what do you think about this?